Hey everybody, it's Ellen from the Tiny Human Handbook, and I'm here today to talk to you about elimination communication. I have a background in early childhood education. I am a mom as well. I'm here to be the resource for you that I wish I had when I was a new mom. So today we are diving into the world of EC, or elimination communication. So what exactly is elimination communication? Simply put, it's a method of listening to your baby's cues and understanding their needs, getting to know their natural rhythm to help them go to the potty rather than solely rely on diapers. I first heard about elimination communication on YouTube myself when I was doing some research when my son was really young. I kind of wish I'd heard about it during pregnancy so we could try it right from birth, but my son was 3 months old when I heard about elimination communication and I wanted to give it a try. I think I saw a YouTube video about it when I was looking into cloth diapers or something like that. I think somebody that I follow might have talked about elimination communication, what it is, and why they do it. It intrigued me. I wanted to see if I could try it. I started researching and decided, yeah, I think that sounds good. And the more I learned about it, the more it made sense to me. I would say starting out, I didn't have the same reason for doing it as I do now. When I started, I thought, we'll save money. We don't have to buy diapers all the time. Buying diapers is more than just spending money on them, but also constantly going out to the store and including them in the grocery trip. It was a lot. We also, our favorite diapers that we like to use were constantly out of stock and sold out. So I thought, yeah, maybe this is a way to get around that. But once I got into it, I started reading some books. My favorite book on it is called Natural Infant Hygiene. I love this book. I highly recommend that you read it. It goes over elimination communication and everything you need to know, as well as the author who tried it out herself. From there, once I read the book, I got the idea of intuition and being really in tuned to your baby. And I was already practicing this with other things that we were doing in parenting, like breastfeeding, sleepy cues, hunger cues, and things like that. So why not do it for elimination needs as well? If you read the books, you'll see some of the authors think that babies are giving you cues for hunger, for sleep, for boredom, for wanting closeness, and why not for going to the bathroom too. If you've seen my videos on early child development, you know that as young as 3 months old, babies are getting used to the feelings inside their body. Maybe their vocal cords moving, and I'm sure they give you cries for gas and pains inside. Definitely encourage all new parents to learn about it and decide if it fits with their parenting style. And by the way, elimination communication terms: catches are when you catch pee or poop in the potty. Misses are when you had a pee or a poop that was not caught by you. It happened while you weren't observing or weren't paying attention. Missed guesses are when you thought you needed your little one to sit on the potty and they just did not need to go. And one of my thoughts when I was starting elimination communication is, isn't this a lot of hard and messy work? Aren't babies using diapers to make things easier for parents, to keep things clean? You don't want to be cleaning up pee off the floor and accidents, things like that. That was one of my thoughts and concerns. It's probably a common concern for a lot of new parents who hear about elimination communication. But my way of thinking of it was, we are doing the hard work now so that we don't have to later. No matter what, you're going to at some point be potty training your child and teaching them to use the bathroom on the toilet. And it's gonna be hard work of taking them, seeing when they have to go, and it's always an emergency, training pants and a little potty and things like that. So why not do it now, when your baby's young and they still have that instinct to listen to their own body and to express those needs to you? Why not keep them in tune with themselves? Why not take the opportunity to share that intuition and closeness with them, as well as save yourself some dirty diapers and diaper frustrations as well. I know once kids start crawling and standing, they definitely don't want to be laid on their back anymore for a diaper change, especially if you also have a diaper rash. So it takes some practice. Once you get started with it, practice with it for a bit, you start to develop that bond, that intuition, and that's what made me really fall in love with elimination communication. Really get in tuned, and that was really the first time that I started feeling that intuition, that mothers often share that they feeling like, I have a secret language with my baby. We have that bond. I can sense what's wrong. That if I listen and trust my instinct and my gut, oftentimes that's right. And of course there's misses and misguesses, and you don't always know 100% what's going on with your little one, but taking the time to practice and be open to the idea of it is one recommendation from me. Another common challenge is those signals. What are elimination communication signals? What is your baby going to do when they need to go to the bathroom? And I can't tell you. I can tell you what my baby does. And maybe from hearing a variety of examples of what other babies do, you can kind of piece it together from your baby. But the most important part of learning the signals is observation. Really take time, phone free, distraction free, tune in 100% of your attention to your little one when they go to the bathroom. And the best way to do this, I think, is summertime or when it's warm out. Put them just in a diaper, one that turns blue when they've gone to the bathroom, or keep them diaper free, or watch for when the cloth diaper gets wet. That's gonna tell you what's my baby doing when they feel wet, when they have to go to the bathroom. And you can't just do it one time and know the answer. You're just gonna get kind of those late cues the first time. So if we're looking at my son, whenever he needs to go to the bathroom, he gets so quiet, out of this world in dreamland, concentrating on something. Sometimes he does some grunts along with what he's doing. Sometimes he doesn't. When he does, I know I need to take him to the potty. When he does it and he's quiet, I also know too, and that's what makes me feel like, whoa, look at my superpower. I can just look at my son, know what's going on in his body without him saying anything to me, without any external sources. I'm just there, super close connection with him, knowing what's going on. And one thing that I wish I knew when I started was the change in diet affecting the signals. So when Cullen was young, he was just having breast milk. Sometimes we were supplementing with formula, sometimes other donated breast milk, and that was changing his cues. He started solids. That was a huge change, and it didn't happen overnight. It took days and days or even weeks for it to have a big enough effect on the digestive system for it to then affect the signals he was giving to me. You settle into the groove with it though. You know, when he was younger, I actually got most of our catches of pee on the potty going off of a natural rhythm. So looking at right when he wakes up. And I know this from practice, it's gonna take maybe 1 minute before he goes to the bathroom after waking up. Another one is coming out of the baby carrier. They call those the easy catches, right upon waking up, right out of the carrier. Sometimes when he comes out of the high chair or the car seat, but for us, those weren't 100%. It would just depend. And then sometimes after eating, and it wasn't directly after eating, it was a couple of minutes. So if I was really on it and I wasn't distracted during the day, I could take him to the bathroom for those, but other things are going on, I might have missed those ones too. So it's a variety of cues and patterns. Another concern of mine that I spent a lot of time worrying about was elimination communication on the go. You know, it's kind of a private thing between me and my little one, taking him to the bathroom. I didn't want to do it when we were out and about in front of relatives. So for those situations, I just used a diaper backup. We'd come back to practicing elimination communication when we got home. Now I tried a couple of times to do what some people recommend, which is keep a potty in the car and go to the bathroom upon arriving or when you're about to get into the car seat. And for me, that didn't work out because I wanted him to be nice and warm. When we were really getting into elimination communication, we hit the fall and the winter time, and I wanted him to be wearing his pants or warm fleece layer, and getting him undressed to go to the bathroom, especially outside, I wasn't a fan of it. I think we tried once and I was like, I wouldn't want to do this. I don't want him to do this either. So what we did instead was I would take him to the bathroom as soon as we got home. We also joined my gym during the winter months, you know, to keep some energy going. And at my gym, since it's a kids facility and play place, they had a toilet seat reducer in each of their bathrooms. And I was so excited the first time I saw it. I was like, what a great idea, you know, since you're gonna have kids who are potty training or kids who are just small for using the big adult toilet. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, look at that, let's give it a try. And when we got to our first My Gym class, we used the bathroom right beforehand. Huge success. He peed in the potty right when we got there, and it just set the stage for a proud parent moment. And then I thought maybe when we go to the pediatrician, there'll be a little seat reducer there too, you know, lots of kids, but they didn't have one. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get one to carry around in our diaper bag. Didn't end up being practical. For me, I also am a minimalist parent. I don't like to have a lot of things or carry a lot of things around with me. So we use our seat reducer at home now that my son's 12 months old and he's a little bit big for the tiny baby potty. So I want to get into my approach with elimination communication, how it went with Cullen, and our elimination communication journey thus far. First steps, like I said earlier, were observing his signals. What we did is we used a old shower curtain. We put out the waterproof layer. We had Cullen play with a couple of waterproof toys on the mat, and we did observation time. We even like recorded it too, so we could go back and watch what signal did he have right before he went. We just did a lot of diaper free time, and one of the reasons I did that, other than elimination communication, is freedom of motion. I view diapers as really restrictive, and if I was wearing one, I would feel a little bit uncomfortable to really move a full range of motion with my legs and my hips and my stomach, especially if the diaper is super tight. That goes for the cloth diaper, the disposable diaper, and that was one of the reasons I didn't really love cloth diapers, because they emphasize the importance of having a lot of absorbency, which we didn't need for elimination communication, and that absorbency made it a really thick diaper, so you were wearing a lot of bulk, and I thought, I want my son to be able to move freely, and he wants to move freely too, and you can tell by how he runs away from me the second he gets naked. We were watching for grunting, squinching up the face, stomach movements. I've heard of people having signals where their little one crosses their little toes when they go, certain facial expressions, and like I said earlier, for us it was that silence and really going into La La Land face. And we also used the easy catches, like after feedings, and in the really early days, sometimes he would go to the bathroom while he was breastfeeding. I got into the routine of breastfeeding him if he wasn't wearing any clothes or if he wasn't wearing a diaper. I would have a pre-fold diaper just open and kind of around the area so he wouldn't go on me, so I could see when it was, and also observing that experience and what it was like for him. The regular feeding times after naps was basically guaranteed. So I would put him down for a nap. At the time he was sleeping on just a crib mattress on the floor, so I could lay him down to sleep and then sneak away quietly. He does not do that anymore. I wish he would. It's been harder and harder the older he gets for me to sneak away. He likes contact naps. That's okay with me too. At the time, I would either have him diaper free, laying on a baby towel or a pre-fold diaper. As soon as I heard him waking up or saw him on the baby monitor, I would run in and put him on the baby potty. That was basically always a catch for us. Oh, and also to help him understand what was going on, I would do the sign for potty, and I would sing different potty songs, like pee-pee goes in the potty, or something like that. I would go with a tune that I'd heard before. I would switch up the lyrics to be about what was going on right then and there to help him understand. So far, he has not really picked up the sign, I don't think. He started signing for other things, and it is really hard to differentiate from milk to potty. It's hard for me to tell which one's which. Maybe I'll have an update later on if we can get that sorted out. But I just kind of use the consistency of that routine to get lots of catches. One worry that I had while starting elimination communication is, has it been too long that I'm sitting you on the potty? And if you have that thought, the answer is yes. It took me a long time to figure it out. I was sitting him on the potty and I was like, it's been a few minutes, he hasn't gone. Is it too long? Should we take him off? Should we put him back on? And go with your gut. If you're questioning, has it been too long? Yes, it has been too long. Chalk it up to a missed guess, take him off the potty, and try again either in a few minutes or another time. Another concern I had getting started was having all the right gear. One part of gear that you need for elimination communication is somewhere for the elimination to go. You can use an adult potty, and there's a lot of different holds, like holding the baby's legs into their chest, supporting them in the upper thighs. There's other ones that you can look up as well. I actually had my son just sit on the tiny baby potty, which is super short, just a couple inches tall, and that got him into that squat position, kind of. Eventually it did. When he was super small, I was holding him over it, and he At that time, I thought he was sitting up really early as well. So once he was 5 months old, 6 months old, I could tell he had a really strong, stable core and got independent sitting down right away. And I attribute that to the baby potty and having him sit in that position while I was assisting him starting at 3-ish months old. I think that helped him work on some muscles. So that was just kind of a side effect that wasn't intended, but kind of cool. So then you've got, what do you wear while the baby is doing this elimination communication? So there's plenty of different things. You can go the cloth diaper route. You can go disposable diapers. You can do a mix, you know, some one day, some another day. You can get training undies. You can either buy specially sized tiny ones, or what I did is I took old onesies that he had outgrown, like the newborn size, because by then we were in 0 to 3. We had a ton that were secondhand anyway, so there was time for a new life for them. There's free patterns you can get online. I would cut out in the shape of the tiny undies, sew them up, and put a little piece of fabric around the bottom area where he would go to the bathroom. Those were awesome, kind of. It was tricky to make. I was glad I put the time into it. Sewing for me is always kind of an act of love and patience and learning. It's a lot of brain work. So I felt like it was time well spent, but he outgrew them and it was hard because I didn't quite get the stretchy areas right. You know, maybe the fabric would stretch this way, but it was supposed to stretch that way. So pay attention to that if you're making your own. I have a couple that turned out really well, a couple that didn't, some that still fit, some he outgrew. But in the end, I found some training underwear that's like a 1T or an 18-month size. I got those and they fit him well enough. They were a little bit big starting out, but now that he's 12 months old, they fit perfectly. And those are my favorite things to use. You do have to be careful when you wash them because they can't go through the dryer. But to me, putting clothes out on the line or a drying rack is also kind of an act of love and patience, and to me feels like relaxation exercise. So I feel like I'm putting love into the clothes when I'm handling them with care like that. Then you've also got the common concern, or what do you do when there is an accident? So one area to think about this is language. You're calling the accident an accident. What does that do? If you read about the Montessori method of toilet training, one thing that I picked up from that is pointing out, oh no, your clothes are wet, or something like that. So if I were to say you've had an accident, you peed in your pants, you did this wrong, this isn't what you're supposed to do, I want to avoid any judgment or any shame. I don't want him to feel judged if he is gone to the bathroom in his underpants. I just point out the clothes are wet, we need to change them. Then we sing the song about where the pee-pee goes. But you'll want to think for yourself, what language do you want to use around accidents? How do you want to treat them, and what effect that might have on your child as they're developing? Then you just clean them up. Right? So it's not anything too big to stress or worry about. And if they are causing you stress, reevaluate what you're using as a backup. Maybe you do want to use a disposable diaper as a backup for elimination communication, or maybe a swim diaper that is waterproof, or add more absorbency. About your values, where you want to spend your time, what's causing you stress, and go from there. To wrap up, elimination communication has been quite a fun journey for me. I think if I were to do it again, I might start the same time we start solids instead of starting early at 3 months old. We did have a lot of benefits and bonding time at the 3-month mark, but at 6 months old, when you're having solids in your diet, the cues become a lot louder and are easier to understand. But at the same time, starting early, I think might have helped that intuition piece as well. So I was glad that I did it. I just think if I did it again, maybe a little later, who knows? And it's up to you when you want to start. There's not really an age that's too late to start tuning in. I know people start at birth, or maybe 3 months when you've got some sleep happening again in your life, or maybe 6 months, whatever time you want to try, it's not too late. I know that was one of my worries when we got started was, oh, I missed doing it the first 3 months. Oh no, but turned out to be fine. I'd love to hear your experience. What do you think of elimination communication? Am I crazy? Am I wasting my time? Or is there an easier way to do it, or just a different way? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please share it with a friend if you think they'd like to learn about elimination communication. Like my video and subscribe for more content like this. Remember, I'm here to help parents feel like they're making great parenting decisions. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.